Hey, Op Soldier here. How's everyone doing? So, today I wanted to talk about the importance of managing Mileener's meter, or managing meter when you're playing Mileener. So, a lot of Mileener players I notice kind of just throw out her meter willy-nilly. And this is one of the main reasons that I don't like playtime, because playtime kind of encourages this playstyle. Now, we've talked about Mileener before, and yes, I said I wasn't going to talk about Mileener anymore, but I did want to still give some good information on how to play Mileener. So, the reason I don't use high Psy is for that reason exactly that I just mentioned. If you use high Psy, you're kind of forced to burn meter. So, for example, if I'm playing Mileener and I use high Psy, and I'm playing against another Mileener, or I'm playing against Sub-Zero, if I use high Psy, Sub-Zero is going to duck the high Psy from mid-screen and punish me with slide. So basically, I lose the ability to zone mid-screen. Now, I could meter burn the high Psy and get the low so he can't slide, but the thing is, actually mid-screen, you can actually duck the low, the over, or the high, and then jump over the low and punish Mileener. That's how kind of bad high Psy is, I guess, or at least how it's designed right now. So what you need to do is you need to take low Psy. Foxy has talked about this before. Low Psy is the better option because it forces your opponent to come to you, and they have to jump over it. They can't really get out of this. Like, if I'm shooting this at mid-screen, Katana has to jump. She doesn't really have a choice, right? So if I shoot this here, I have to jump over, right? And if Mileener spaces it, I can't hit her. See? I could hit her with a jump kick. But then she could time it, or she could walk further back, right? So like if she does like this. Right? Oops. Like I can reach her in time if I walk forward, but if I'm standing there and then Mileener walks back, or even dashes back, another example, you know, dashing back, then I can't reach her in time. So this is why you choose low Psy. Low Psy forces them to come to you, and you can kind of play your zoning game a little bit better. Now, what this also does, unfortunately, is it encourages players to use low Psy and amp it, but I highly recommend you don't amp it, and this is why. You need her bar when your opponent has 2 defensive meter. You need her bar when they break late. So for example, because you don't want to be playing the mind game where you read the late break. Sorry. Oops. Let me try that again. Trying to get it to armor break. Should be able to armor break. Anyway, it's not working for some reason. There we go. Like, you don't want to play this game, because when you start playing this game, what they'll do is you'll do this, and then they won't break, and then you'll have a bar, and you might have Oki, but you've done 122 to get Oki. So basically, you want to just burn a bar, and when you do burn a bar, what's going to happen is you're going to lose your bar of offensive meter. And this is one of the main issues Mileener has, is if you do this, oops, you lose 2 bars, and you do little to no damage. And now, you only have 1 bar to work with. And what this does is, this forces you, when you combo them, let's say you burn a bar zoning. Of course, my bad. Let's say you burn a bar zoning. So you burn a bar zoning. Oh, of course. Okay. Let's say you burn a bar zoning. And now you combo them. Well, now you have no bar to do any damage. And this is one of the main issues that Mileener has. So what you need to do is you need to keep your offensive bar specifically for combos. Like, that's pretty much what you have to do, right? Because, see, the only way you can start your loop here is if you have that extra bar. Now, even now, you can see Mileener doesn't really benefit from... You don't really benefit from playing Mileener here because you have to wait for them to get their defensive bar, if you look at the right corner, for you to get your offensive bar. So, basically, at some point, you're going to play the wake-up system, right? Because if you combo them again... Sorry, if you combo them again... They'll still have like 300 plus health. Let's do it again. So he does that. And then you wait for your offensive bar and their defensive bar to come back. And they'll still have like 300 health or something to play with. Which you can kind of zone out the rest of that health. So as you can see here, you can kind of zone out that health a little bit. And then this is where I say that it's okay to use your offensive bar because, you know, if their health is that low, then you can kind of just zone out the rest of their health, right? Or you could just chip them out, or not chip them out, but do like only 140 damage to kind of kill them. So that's a good time to use her bar, but don't use her bar unless like the only good time to use her bar with zoning is if you're just kind of walking back and you expect your meter to come back in time. But if you're just doing it willy-nilly, you can't. Mileener is one of those characters that you actually have to manage your meter. If you don't manage your meter, you are going to die. You are going to lose out on opportunities for damage that you need. And that's something I see a lot of Mileener players not do. And that's why I do not like this kind of goes back to why I don't like extended strings. I think extended strings don't help Mileener because if you use the high side, you can get punished from mid-range, and if you start amping high side, then you start losing out on damage with Mileener, which is just crazy. Mileener has no crushing blows that aren't linked to her combo launcher, except her forward 2, but the forward 2 has to punish a high, so that's just not going to happen. So since she has no like raw counter crushing blows, you basically have to rely on her meter, which means you need to meter manage. Now another good time to use her meter offensively, or her offensive meter, is for flawless blocks. So for example, Katana does, actually all of Katana's, well, this one isn't actually. So if Katana does this, this is an okay time to use her meter, because if your opponent breaks, you still have a bar of offensive meter to play with, right? So using her meter for flawless blocks is okay, because in theory, if she breaks, so let's have Katana do this again. I don't think I can set her to break though while she's doing it. Yeah, I can't set her to break. So let's try this. I'm gonna spam. Oh, she breaks right away. Okay. Well, she didn't break, but you get my point. Unfortunately, I can't really display it, but my point is, she'll break, right? And then you'll have one more bar of offensive meter, because this combo launcher, basically, Mileener's up 2 acts as a launcher. So as long as you don't burn another bar, like let's say you do this. Let's say she does this. Oops. This is not worth it, because if Katana breaks when you do the ball roll, you're gonna lose both bars. So you only want to use this as a launcher and then link into your 200 damage and then go for your Oki. And if she breaks, you'll have an extra bar to play with to do damage on Oki. Because remember, Mileener shines on Oki, so your goal is to use those offensive bars to get more damage in the long run and not use it to burn for like zoning or anything else, really. Even her enhanced teleport, I would argue that you probably don't want to throw that out as much. You probably want to just throw it to get in and then, you know, get your +3, +5. This is +3. Wow, I thought that was +5. Wow. Anyway, So that's good use for her meter, for chipping your opponent out when their health is low, for only combos, and for flawless blocks. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is wake up attack. So Mileener is, again, one of those interesting characters where pretty much you can't really use her meter for wake up attacks. So if your opponent knocks you down, unless you're getting pressured and you really can't deal with the pressure, your only real options are roll, backward roll to get out of pressure. Obviously that doesn't work there. And you can occasionally use up 3, but you only use up 3 if you're going to die, or if you feel like you're going to go back to zoning to get your meter. Like you basically, like when you use up 3, you basically have to just go back to zoning, because if your opponent has 2 bars of defensive meter, you pretty much can't do anything, because again, like they'll just break and then you lose out on that and you have to go back to zoning anyway. So you might as well take no risk by just going back to zoning in the first place. So this is a huge flaw that Mileener has that you really have to keep in mind. You have to use wake up rolls. You have to not meter burn Sai as much as other characters do. This is one of the main reasons Katana is a more complete character, because she has more use of her offensive meter than Mileener can. Mileener's she's kind of pigeonholed into only using her offensive meter for combos. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I'll see you guys later. Subscribe for more. And yes, there will be more Mileener kind of philosophy and gameplay to give you guys some ideas on how to play her, our gameplay styles. So stay tuned for that too. And I will see you guys later.